Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy and today I'm taking part in the Global Monthly Video Collab group. We are a group of Stampin' Up demonstrators from around the world, and each month we get together with a different theme. So for this month's theme we have Trick or Treat. So it's really exciting. Halloween season is upon us. Let me show you the little project that we're going to be creating today. It is a little coffin treat box. So I'm going to take it and open it up here, and has a nice little treat inside. It's actually a fairly easy box to put together, so let me show you how it's done. All the supplies I'm using for today's project can be seen on the screen. Head over to my blog for all the measurements, and the supplies are listed over there as well. I'm so excited to be showing you this project. It is super cute, and it uses minimal supplies. We have one stamp set, we've done some heat embossing, we've got a little bit of ribbon, some couple of strips of designer series paper and some cardstock, so it's super easy. Now to make the actual box piece, these two pieces of black card are two different sizes, but we're going to score them at 1 inch on all four sides. Now head over to my blog for those measurements. It's just a little bit easier to pop them there than to say right now, because they go down to the 1/16 of an inch, so it can get a little bit confusing. So we've gone 1 inch on each of those sides. We're going to fold and burnish with our bone folder. Now with the bone folder you're going to get nice crisp lines for your box to go together. It just makes the box go together really easily. Then we're going to come in with our paper snips and we're going to do a little bit of cutting. So on each of our tabs we're going to cut up on those little squares and notch in on each side, and we're going to do that on all four sides to both pieces of card. This box actually goes together really easily. You'll see that in just a second. I'm going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive on each of those tabs and pop the boxes together. Now one will fit inside the other because they are different sizes there. If you're needing any of the supplies I'm using on today's project or any other project, you can purchase those in my online store. Use the hostess code for this month and I'll send you out a handmade card as well as a bundle tutorial, and there's some really great benefits with shopping with me. So like I said before, we're just popping a bit of liquid glue on each of those tabs and holding it together. You could also use mini glue dots or the Stampin seal. That one works really well as well, but liquid glue gives you that little bit of wriggle room if you pop it in the wrong spot. Okay, so I'm doing all four. Now these boxes go together really easily. It's a little bit more in depth for the coffin pieces, but I will be putting a diagram over on my blog as well if you sort of need that little bit of extra direction there, because it's a little bit hard to describe. See, one pops in really easily to the other one. Okay, so I have two more pieces of basic black cardstock. What we're going to do is we're going to pop it in to our paper trimmer, and I'm going to measure at 1/2 inch in on both sides for that side. I'm going to turn it around the other way and I'm going to mark it at 3/4 inch. Now going back up to the top piece that we went in at 1/2 inch, I'm going to mark it down 1 1/8 down, and then we're going to take the trimmer and take from the 1/2 inch down to the 1 1/8 and chop that off, and then from the 1 1/8 down to the 1 inch. So it's a 1 inch down the bottom. Like I said, go over and check that diagram out. It'll make a lot more sense than me blubbering through it. So the second one you can do the same as you've done for the first one, or you could use that first one that you've just created for a template, which is what I've done here. So I'm just using a pencil, tracing around it, and I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer to cut all those pieces, and you're going to have the exact piece. Okay, so I've just filed it off. I actually need a new blade for my trimmer, but it comes along quite well. Okay, so I'm using the embossing buddy there because when you're embossing on black cardstock, I find that I have a lot of stray white embossing powder stick to the basic black for some reason. But anyway, so here we are. We've got the cobweb stamp from the Ben a Year stamp set, and we're just going to randomly stamp in the Versamark ink all the way around that top coffin piece. We're going to emboss that with the Whisper White embossing powder. Also, if you can see on the first design there, that little bat. Because we don't have the basic black embossing powder anymore, I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick how to do that without a basic black embossing powder. So we're also going to use the white for our sentiment here, which is the happy haunting, and I've got on quite a big bit of basic black card that I'll cut down in a minute. Okay, so here is this bat. So I have inked it up in the Versamark ink, then I've gone over with the Memento Tuxedo black ink, and then I'm going to pop clear embossing powder over the top. This is going to be embossed now in black. Now this is a really great tip, and if you want to emboss in any colour of the Stampin' Up colour range, you can hit the stamp through the Versamark powder first, then use your classic ink that you want to use. The Versamark does not affect your stamping pad at all, and then you hit clear embossing powder over the top and heat it, and that'll give you any colour of the Stampin' Up colour range in embossing. Okay, so I've just fussy cut really quickly out that little bat, and to get rid of that powder from the embossing buddy, I've just ran my hand over it. It comes off really well. If you've got a microfiber towel, that works really well as well. So I'm just cutting down this sentiment really quickly, and what we're going to do is we're going to attach some of that organdy ribbon on the back. Okay, so going back to the box, we have the Magic in This Night Designer Series paper, 2 strips, and I'm going to glue those down with tear and tape. Now, I don't have a problem using a little bit more supplies than I need, because I really don't like anything falling apart on someone, so I always use a little bit more tear and tape, a little bit more adhesive, or a few more dimensionals than needed. But if you are a little bit more conservative, you could just use 1 strip of tear and tape as well. Okay, so I've run this one around and it doesn't quite reach, so I'm just going to cut off that little bit extra and use that second piece to get that last strip there. If you're planning on making a lot of these, you could probably get away with not using the Designer Series paper. It's completely up to you. So I've got another couple of strips of the tear and tape down to put down that bottom layer of the coffin. And we're also going to do the same with the top layer. Pushing it down, making sure it's got a good strong hold. This box is a decent size to fit other things inside, whether it be a chocolate bar or other small bits of candy. It will fit quite a few different things in. I just found these long lollipops and they worked in really well. Okay, so I've popped the top on as well, making sure that you push down because you are going to be putting a bit of pressure on it as you pull the coffin apart. Okay, so I have the glittered organdy ribbon. This has got some really great glitter and sparkle in it. I'm popping a little bit of tear and tape on the back, and that's how I'm going to secure the organdy ribbon down. And I'm doing the old Z fold on the back of our sentiment here. So it doesn't use a lot of ribbon, but just gives it an extra little bit of a boost. And we're going to stick that down, or pop it up actually, with some dimensionals. I'm going to bring the little mini dimensionals in just to pop that bat up. And there we have it. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. If you have, please give me a thumbs up, and I'd love it if you left me a comment. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do that one as well. And go over and check the other Demonstrators projects as well. That's in the link of this video. I'll be back very soon with another video for you, so hopefully you can join me for that one. Until then, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.